Hello and welcome to the latest in our acta35 series of In Conversation with me, Neil Beddow. And this morning I'm talking to Jake Bristow, who's a long-time participant and performer. Hello, Jake.
All right, now how are you doing this morning?
Doing all right. So I'm just excuse me while I find my way around this computer.
Yep.
Stop sharing. There, and then back to us.
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, thanks for giving the time this morning. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's really lovely to have an opportunity to talk to you about all the things you've done. I'm going to spend most of the time looking at photos. Well, some of your many shows. I was looking back at the shows that you've been in, and when you started, the first show was in 2009. So you must have started with us a year before that. So it must have been 2008 that you first engaged with acta.
Yeah, it was 2008. I was still 16 at the time because my birthday wasn't until November that year. So I was 16 when I joined.
What was the first show, Jake? I was trying to look for it.
Simmering Secrets.
Oh, yeah, what was that about?
It's two rival villages competing for the best village award. To my recollection, I played a police officer that was also a metalhead. My hair wasn't as long, and I didn't have this.
Yeah.
At the time.
I think I have got a photograph of not of that show, because you did Simmering Secrets, and I think the next one was
Death by Dawn.
Death by Dawn, and that was like a mystery, a murder mystery, I think.
Yeah, I played a Satanist.
That was with Vibe Youth Theatre. So you started with acta as a young person, all those years ago, no, well, I suppose you're still a young person, aren't you? You're not. Yeah,
I'm 28.
Young adult.
29. I'm 29 in November.
Wow. Right, I'm gonna see if I can find our way back to the photographs, because we've got some great ones, and I want you to talk us through them. Here we go. Okay. So here we are. Look, you're beardless.
Once Upon a Nerdberg, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Once Upon a Nerdberg, and there's Ruben, also beardless.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has changed over the years is how popular beards have become.
Yeah, there's not very many people have beards.
No, but I mean, that was I really enjoyed Once Upon a Nerdberg. What can you just tell me a little bit about what it was about, the sort of underlying theme of Once Upon a Nerdberg?
It was about bullying. Kirsty was playing the main part, and she was being bullied by her family, and then we get a call from her sisters, which one of them was played by Ingrid, because we had someone called Terry, and she couldn't do it in the end.
Oh yeah.
And basically she calls us up, we push her around and take her phone, and then by the end of it, we get redeemed by saying, no, we're not going to do it anymore.
So was it about, so did it also touch upon online bullying? I seem to remember there was an element of online bullying in.
Yeah, cyber bullying.
Yeah, quite interesting that you were looking at that subject, way back in 2012, 8 years ago. And I think, that was quite ahead of its time, I think, for the youth theatre. It was Vibe Youth Theatre, wasn't it? It was called, for you to be looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was the first show I did with Abby as well, because she filled in. Either she filled in or she was put in as a character. I can't really remember now.
I didn't work on that. I don't remember.
No.
So, no.
1963.
Yeah. So the following year, we did a big play called 1963, which was just celebrating. I suppose it was 50 years since 1963. And here you are with Ruben again,
and James.
And can you just explain what role you were playing in this? I love this picture.
We played like, obviously I played like another part like just a small one, but my main part was Ronnie Biggs, who
Yeah.
was part of the Great Train Robbery.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone knows this, but before doing this show, I mean, I used to have an earring. I used to have my ear pierced, and I forgot to take my earring out. But luckily, it's on the left ear, and so you can't see it.
Oh, well, that's good, Dad.
Yeah, and of course, my hair is like there. Well, that's
Yeah.
how long it is now.
But here you are, the three of you doing a very comic sketch on the Great Train Robbery in 1963.
Yeah, something that was serious, but we made it funny.
Yeah, I think that was one of the great things about the show, and that's the actor community choir sat behind you, enjoying the back view of the performance. But that was such a cracking little show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, because I was like, it's the train, then we jump on the train, tend to point guns at Peter, even though it's just on fingers, and he's like, "Why are you pointing your fingers at me?" I was like, "Whose idea was this?"
Yeah. It was really slapstick and was a great moment.
Very slapstick comedy.
I think it's a bit of a transition piece, I always thought, 1963, because we brought a few different actor groups together to create it. And I think that was the first time that members of the Vibe Youth Theatre started working with adults and also with the choir. And the reason I mention that sort of then led to this, of course, which is Gas Girls. And when I was flicking through the photographs, I particularly loved this. I think this is actually from the first time we did it in 2012, because I can remember being when we were devising this play, you doing this speech. We sent you off to do monologues about your characters, and I'll never forget you coming back with this monologue about your as a character in the play, about how your father who died at the front, and and it was so powerful. And as sort of Divine's a writer, I sort of wrote it down, and it went into Gas Girls word for word. It was such a good piece of improvised theatre.
Yeah, I made a lot of people cry on the actual like performance days. Like I made Ingrid cry, I made my mum cry, and some other people were crying even backstage. I think Tracy was starting to shed some tears. And speaking of Gas Girls, actually, obviously a thank you card.
Oh, look at that! Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah,
nice piece of memorabilia.
And also the book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which obviously there's a lot of research about it, and also more thank you notes, thank you messages. And I think you're in here. Yeah, you're at the top.
Of course, I got in there first.
You had to get in there, but yeah, doing that monologue, I was like, what can I talk? What can I talk about? I thought, well, look, there's a pocket watch, and one of my great granddads, who was born in Cardiff in 1899, had a pocket watch. I still got it somewhere. And I thought, well, I'll mention something with a pocket watch. And I thought, shall I use my granddad's pocket watch, or shall I just use a pocket watch that they find? And obviously use that pocket watch, which I think we used again in 2017.
Yeah, I think it was better to use one we bought rather than risk your grandfather's.
Yeah. And,
but it really worked. And I think one of the things that I always enjoy about working with you, Jake, is what a great improviser you are, and when you take that on as performers.
Yeah, I'm more of an improviser. I sometimes struggle with scripts and trying to remember my lines, so I just try and make something up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the actor process works really well for that, though, because you always create very good words through your improvisation, and because we then write that down, it's not like you're speaking someone else's words, you're speaking words you originally come up with, and I think that works. Again in 2014 with that World War I connection is here. I love this photograph of the three of you in Lost Not Forgotten. James there again in the back
playing a German song,
German helmet on. but that was a great show. I remember I didn't have anything to do with it, but I enjoyed coming to see it and being shown around Arna's Vale.
Yeah, it was hot pretty much all the days we were performing because, well, we started there by the memorial plaques there. And then we went down, and then I had to change into a zookeeper outfit and then go back to being a soldier again. And then I had to dress up like another person who in a white prison outfit with black arrows on it.
Yeah.
And then go from there, be a soldier in a trench, and then be an Australian soldier, and then be another soldier telling the German to go away because we had kippers and he wanted our kippers. And then back up here again to do this thing. And yeah, by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, I'm exhausted. I want to go home now.
Ingrid kept you very busy.
Yep.
And after those two very serious shows, the next year, here you were involved again with a community company doing the Redcliffe Stories.
Yeah.
And that was a very different sort of show. How much do you remember doing that?
I remember I got to play a pirate and I didn't have to tie my hair back into a hat again because I don't want to cut my hair anytime soon. So I thought just tie it back, put in a hat if I need short hair. But there it was like, cool, I can have my hair down because a lot of pirates had long hair.
It was, I mean, the thing for me about Redcliffe Stories was that, again, we got a community company together and it was, as you can see here, it was all ages. And some of the performers brought their, members of their family around. And
yeah, it was the first.
It was such a great style. I remember we did a lot of physical theatre. We met in the Accent on a Thursday night, if I remember, and they were really great sessions.
Yeah, and it's the first time I worked with actually worked with child actors.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
That's the first time I worked with any because. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Joe,
yeah, because Sarah's right next to him.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember who was off to the side of me, but yeah. But yeah, Redcliffe Stories was good because I had changed from being a pirate to like some debt collector and then World War I, World War II and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now on Sailor's Tales.
Yeah, I'm thinking through. We've got so many shows to think about. Tell me a bit about Sailor's Tales. I mean, I know about Sailor's Tales, but I'm just thinking about the people watching it.
Well, obviously it's about men going off to sea, the women staying at home. And well, Ingrid actually phoned me up about this because the guy they had before was a bit unsure if he can do it. So Ingrid phoned me up. I just got a phone call from Ingrid. I was like, but I didn't know it was her until I answered it because I didn't have a number on my phone. She said, "Oh, do you want to take part in a show?" And turned out to be Sailor's Tales. I thought,
yeah,
sure, why not? And had fun doing it.
It was really, I mean, I was really involved in Sailor's Tales. I did all the research and did the devising process and wrote the script, but I didn't do the directing. So I think at the point at which I dropped out, you dropped in. But I loved it. It was nice to have a piece where we focused on a group of men, on the sailors and the different experiences of their life. But it was really, I just really like that photo of you as I was clicking through. I think.
Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about there. I think I was talking about a bar in Panama or something. Because my character is a drunk and actually deserves what he got coming to him at the end with his wife leaving him.
Oh yeah, Jake, but that was such a great scene where
I think out of all the characters I've done, I dislike it. I like him least because of what sort of person he was.
But maybe that's because you didn't actually create the character.
No, I didn't create him.
Yeah, and you're right. You came in once the script had been written, so you had to take up a character someone else.
I didn't have any way of changing the character. I would like to play Frank, but
Yeah, but you played the character really well, and particularly that despairing moment when your character returned home from sea to find his wife had left him and the house was empty. And
yeah, I had no sympathy from the audience, and that's what I wanted. Is like no sympathy for this character, just tell him to bugger off. And then by the end of it, you see Gary's character taking Phoebe down the aisle to get married.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't do what I did. Like, make sure he doesn't do what I did. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
neglect.
think it's a really good example of how much you invest in the characters you play.
Yeah.
I couldn't not
Oh, the
show this.
underworld.
Yeah, I mean, this was again. I think you were stepping in, weren't you?
I was just stepping in. I just wanted to go there to just say hello to people, but then I just kept turning up, and they were like, "Do you know what? Do you want to be in the show?" So I ended up playing two characters. One was a thug that ends up getting knocked out by the superhero, and then I played Typhon, which is one of the many gods in hell in Greek mythology, if I remember correctly. And I like that spear. I wish I had that spear in my house. And obviously, I had to tie my hair back in like a half ponytail. And
yeah, you do look like you stepped straight out of the Lord of the Rings film in this one, I think.
Well, if anybody wants to cast me in a Lord of the Rings type film, look at this picture.
Yeah. Here's a lighter side of you, though, Jake.
Circus of Marvels. That was 2 years ago. Oof.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that you've done lots of in the past is not just the more serious pieces,
Done
but
Christmas shows as well. Yeah.
Christmas shows, which I know you love. I've seen to a lot. I had a photograph on here of you and Christy in Land of Lost Things, which is one of my favorite.
Yeah. There's a picture of me and Christy in the bar area.
That's right. But I think that was, yeah.
I enjoy.
You can play
that
comedy.
thing where I get stuck to the web, and Jeannie's telling me to shut up.
Yeah.
But, I like doing Christmas shows, but I like doing the more serious stuff. But then, not too much. If it's like serious play after serious play, I'm like, okay, I need something different. Oh, there's a Christmas show. Oh, I'll do the Christmas show then.
Yeah, it's a sort of light and shade, the variety you get.
Mm.
Oh, and back.
And very recently.
Yeah, so this is probably your most recent. Oh, well, no, you were involved in the Heroes project we just done. That's your most recent show.
Yeah, this is like, in terms of like a big production, yeah, that's the most recent one. But then I did Our Street and then Heroes, and but yeah, this is the most recent one.
Again, you know, you have got this real talent at playing very serious parts, and Clip is following on as it does from Gas Girls, looking at life in the 1920s.
I like doing shows based back in like the 20s on the 1910s, or maybe a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
Just this, because what I like doing about this one, because it's 100 years since 1920, and things were a lot tougher back then because there was no social media, there was no like internet, there was nothing like that. Yeah. So the only way you can contact anybody is if either you walk to their house or if the phones actually worked. But
yeah, and of course, I mean, as time's gone on over the last sort of 9 months, there's been, you know, here we have in 1920, a community that had just come out the other side of a global pandemic, and there was rising and terrible unemployment and poverty, and it chimes so much now with, you know, Clippies has more to say to 2020 than we ever thought it would have. But I love this photo of you and Claire, and you as a returned soldier. Yeah, finding yourself out of work and no prospect, and I thought you played the sort of the desperation and the frustration of that character so well, really were. Yeah,
they basically she was saying to me, "Oh yeah, we suffered during the war back home." Yeah, they would have, because food was low and a lot of rations were low. But then the only difference between that is my character was being shot at. She wasn't being shot at, so that's what I was arguing with her about. And then there's times where I almost got like physically angry on stage when doing that.
Yeah,
like physically angry. But then I'm actually on stage as people. Calm down, get backstage and calm down.
Yeah, I think that you do. You know, you have that quality on stage where you're so believable. You know, I never get the sense when I'm watching you that you're acting, that you're putting something on and playing a part, you do have a really great ability to appear very natural.
Yeah, it's like
Even
I've just
if
gone
it's,
straight into.
yeah.
It's
And
like,
carry on.
sorry.
I was just
Sorry.
gonna say that's one of the reasons I love to work with you, and also really enjoy watching your performances when it's a play that I haven't worked on, because of
Yeah,
that really natural quality of your performing.
yeah, it's like with he actually gets into character and stays into the character. Daniel Day-Lewis. He
Right.
actually stays in character even when they're not filming. But then but that whole natural thing, I think,
Yeah.
just go back to Daniel Day-Lewis, because you actually think he's he's actually Abraham Lincoln or Daniel Plainview or Bill the
Yeah.
Butcher in Gangs of New York or something like that. But
So
because you actually believe it.
is he a particular?
He's one of my favourite actors, and he actually
Right.
studied at the Bristol Old Vic
Right.
as well.
Wonderful. Well, look, I've come to the end of my photographs. So yeah, but that was a really lovely conversation. And I say we haven't had time to cover all the plays you've been in, because you've done
I've done too many.
too many.
Too many. Well, because my first one was 11 years ago.
Yeah.
The one after that was 10 years ago.
Well, yeah. Well, I really hope you continue to engage with actor Jake and keep devising and performing, because you've got a great so much to give, and such a big part of the actor family. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that when I've retired, I will come back and watch you and in all your next performances.
Oh yeah, you're retiring, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want you to go, Neil. We want you to stay. You're staying. No, it's like, oh, I'm going out. No.
Well, I'm not disappearing.
I will hunt you down.
I'll definitely be back to see you all. So I'm going to say thank you very much, Jake Bristow, for spending time with me this morning. And
Thank you, Neil.
I'll be now. I think our next conversation is going to be with Catherine Hopkins, who was for many years working for the organisation. Is now our chair. So that will be the next one.
That's why I don't see her on the reception desk anymore.
I know.
I was just thinking, has she gone home early? Does she not work here anymore?
No, she left us, and but is still involved, which is probably a good lesson for me, because I think that once you're part of actor, it's quite difficult to stop being. So
yeah.
So Jake, I'm going to get back to the final screen. Here we are, and so I can do this, I think. What can I do? I can do that. And say thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Jake, for sharing your experiences with us this morning.
You're welcome, Neil, and thank you for having me.
For watching. Bye.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and hopefully we can all meet up again soon.